Welcome to another edition of A Goal Realized. I am Nia Suban, and I'm talking today to Aquila Scott, who is going to pursue a diploma in creative writing at the University of Jain University in India. First of all, let me ask you, why creative writing?
Well, my passion for creative writing stemmed from knowing that the indigenous tribe, their culture was genocide and there was no history written about them. I think writing would have been better, writing about their culture, writing about their history. At least the future generations for them would have been cultured. So I think creative writing, having skills in creative writing, could increase my chance of saving our culture.
When we talk about creative writing, sometimes the very first thing that comes to mind is in the creative industry in terms of filmmaking or documentary making, feature writing, whatever, something of that sort. I guess it's some of that, but not all of that.
Yes, it's actually all of that.
Okay.
Yes. Creative writing is regards to film, writing books, everything in the creative industry you could think about starts with a script.
Okay, so you want to be able to build your capacity and be able to write these scripts.
Yes.
And related narrative, of course.
Yes.
So what, if I can rewind your thoughts, if you can rewind for me, before you actually got to that point, were you in any way interested in writing as a young girl growing up and so on?
Yes, I actually was. Actually, I just completed a diploma at the University of Ghana in Communication Studies. So I've always been passionate about writing. I work on a reward system. From the first time I handed in my first composition, my teacher told me, "Oh my gosh, Aquila, this is excellent." I have been passionate about writing since then. I've been passionate about building my knowledge in writing since then.
So how do you see yourselves? Let's fast forward now. So 2 years completed at Jain University in India. You've gotten your diploma in creative writing. How do you see this now enhancing you? Where do you go from there?
I do intend on putting Guyana on the map when it comes to creative writing. People need to know much more about what Guyana is, Guyanese culture. I feel like the world doesn't know enough about Guyanese culture, and we need to start writing about Guyanese culture. People need to know the truth about Guyanese culture and not what's fabricated by a foreigner.
But given that the platforms would have changed over time, so you now have a social media platform where writing for social media is vastly different from writing a composition per se, or writing for a magazine or a newspaper. So I'm guessing here that you're going to try to adapt to all of these?
Yes, I will try to adapt to all of that.
You have a preference for any?
I actually have a preference for hard copy books instead of soft copy books, which would mean I'd prefer to write newspaper catalog instead of writing a post on social media. Partially because the information on social media is not as credible as the information published in a hard copy form of mass media. So I prefer to write hard copy. However, I have no issue writing for social media.
All right, so when we talk about scholarships, so here comes a long goal that gives you and other, your peers and others a chance of improving their capacity. So when we talk about scholarships, sometimes there are certain things that come readily to mind: medicine and law and all these kinds of engineering and so on. All these things come to mind almost immediately. Did you see a void, an opportunity in choosing the path that you have chosen?
Yes, I did. Most people invalidate creative writing, especially in Guyana. Well, as young people normally say, it's either you're a doctor, a lawyer, or a disgrace to your family.
I never heard that part before.
Yes, they usually say that. So when people hear, "Oh my gosh, there's a scholarship for creative writing," what are you going to do with creative writing? And there's so much to do with creative writing. When I know there's a process. My long-term goal is being a writer, featuring Guyana. My short-term goal is teaching people creative writing.
Okay, so clearly you have a passion about this. I can sense this passion. So when you heard that you had gotten the gold scholarship to this university in India, tell me your first reaction.
I called my mom the first thing because she was pushing me, Aquila, go get the scholarship. And in my head, I'm like, a scholarship for creative writing? Really? And she was like, it's a scholarship and you're passionate about writing, so go get it. So my first thing, I was actually traveling at the time. I called her, Mommy, I got the scholarship. And I couldn't believe I
How
got
did
the
you know
scholarship.
this, by the way?
The goal initiative, they emailed me.
No, the actual field of study.
Oh, the field of study. It was on the form,
Oh,
on the scholarship form. They told us
so
to
you
sign
went
up.
you went looking for that, or
Yes, I actually went looking for anything in the arts because as an artist, I look for arts first. So I was looking for a writing course. I had chosen,
Okay.
they gave us three options. I had chosen creative writing, mass communications, and women empowerment. So when I got through with creative writing, I was like, yes, this is my first choice.
Now, generally, scholarships work both ways, in improving the capacity of the person who's pursuing the studies, and also to help the country or their firm that would have given that person the scholarship, so that their overall capacity can also be built. How do you see you being able to help build Guyana's capacity down the road in the field that you would have chosen?
I intend on teaching the youths how to use creative writing as a tool to enhance Guyana. Because as I said previously, creative writing is not just writing, it's film, it's everything to do with arts. So I do intend on teaching.
How would this change your life? Or in the interim, now that you've gotten the scholarship, has anything changed for Aquila?
So far,
No, that you've gotten the scholarship. What has changed?
not much actually. School hasn't started at Jane University, it's actually starting on Thursday. So when I got the scholarship, I was still in finals for University of Guyana.
Okay.
So nothing much has changed as yet, but I do look forward to starting, and I know as soon as I start, things will change. I will be given more knowledge.
So how do you envisage your life? This is a 2-year course, I guess, right?
Yes, this.
So how do you envisage the change in your life 2 years hence, and also for your family?
I intend on writing their story. My family is a culturally diverse family, mixed, and we all have struggles as cultural people. So I do intend on writing their story. That will benefit my family. How will it benefit me? There's this quote that says, if you know, you teach. So I do intend on passing the knowledge on, and this will benefit me, knowing that I am not a walking encyclopedia. I'm not keeping all of this knowledge to myself. I'm passing it on to generations.
You know, there's an old saying that, education empowers and everything else. How do you see this particular scholarship in terms of your own personal life, and even for your peers? I'm sure you would have known other persons who would have gotten scholarships as well.
Actually, I do not know other persons. I know one other person
Okay.
that got in the scholarship, and we're not close. So how do I envision myself with this scholarship?
I mean, it empowers, right? Education
Yes.
empowers. So
Yes.
2 years from now, and Aquila is going to be a much more empowered young woman, with
Yes.
all this knowledge about creative writing. You'll be a better writer
Yes.
and all of that. So clearly, you'll have other goals other than teaching.
Yes.
You must want to do other things after
Yes,
that.
I do intend on writing. I intend on writing scripts. I've always wanted to write scripts. And recently, Guyana has gone to the cinema. I noticed movies about Guyana has started filming. So I do intend on writing scripts that depicts Guyana, life in Guyana. I do intend on writing news scripts. I do intend on writing.
Well, great. Well, I'm happy for you, and I'm sure your family, they're happy for you as well. You were telling me that you called your mom. What was the reaction like?
She was calm, actually, which was quite surprising because she was really pushing me. But when I got home, that's when the celebration began. She was very excited.
So there was actually a celebration.
Yes, there was.
I wouldn't ask about that on television. I want to wish you all the best. And of course, it's always good to see that young people are enthused, to enhance themselves education-wise. It is also, you know, I know many people have expressed, you know, how happy they are to be given the opportunity to get a scholarship. And now in this COVID environment and all of that, it's falling into line almost in terms of you can do it online, you know, and your convenience and so on. So I'm sure this is something that you would share as you go along.
Yes, I will.
All right, so we wish you all the best, and hopefully 2 years from now we can have a conversation.
Yes,
and see
hopefully.
how that turned out. Aquila Scott, she's going to do a diploma in creative writing at the Jain University in India. Best wishes. That's all for now. Take care.